And so I told the psychiatrist about everything that had happened to me. And so she put me on this cocktail of antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and sleeping pills, which I never understood because I had just tried to kill myself with sleeping pills. And she put me on sleeping pills. So that was, I don't understand that. But anyway, that's what she did. And so then for the next 3 years, I was under the influence of just this cocktail of these 3 different drugs. And I would see her once a month. I would go and see her. And for 30 minutes, I would tell her what's going on in my life. And she would say, okay, time's up. That's very nice. Here's your prescription. Take some more drugs. So I was diagnosed. She diagnosed me with bipolar and also with psychosis. And the reason why she said psychosis was because I told her that I heard voices. And so this is something that I think I've forgotten to mention until now. So I also, during my childhood and growing up, I had a lot of experiences with demons growing up. And so I was under severe demonic oppression. And so when you're abused as a child, the trauma opens up doorways so that demons can kind of come in and get a foothold into your life. And then as I got older and I started making my own terrible decisions, all of that opened up the doorway to these demonic influences even more. And so these demons had come into my life at this point and just had all these strongholds in my life that was causing the depression and just all of these bad things that were happening to me and my state of mind and emotions and everything. So I just had this struggle. I was still a Christian. I wasn't possessed, but they were oppressive. They were oppressing me. And so I just had this internal, mental, emotional struggle just from all of this demonic oppression. So when I told my psychiatrist that I heard voices, she said that I was psychotic. So it was actually true. Not that I was psychotic. Those were demons. Demons can speak to you. But modern psychiatry has no way. They don't believe in the spiritual realm. They don't have any way to deal with spiritual conditions or with demons and angels and things like that. But we know from the Bible that there are indeed demons. And so that was a big part of my problem. So anyway, that was her diagnosis. So she told me that I was going to be taking medication for the rest of my life. And I was taking medication for 3 years. So, and I talk about this in my book as well, because I think that after my experience with this, that the modern day psychiatry is, there's just a lot of terrible things about it. My psychiatrist was a wonderful, sweet lady, and she was just going by her training. But within that 3-year period, she would just give me my prescription. She would just push drugs on me. She never, ever once tried to guide me through a process of, or give me strategies of how to work on the problems, how to get over the depression and work on that and make myself better on my own. It was always just, the drugs, you take the drugs, you take the drugs. And so I will tell you from my own experience that drugs cannot cure depression. I believe that usually depression is a spiritual condition, and drugs will never cure depression. They might mask the feelings a little bit. They might make you not feel so sad sometimes, but they never will be a cure. They're not a permanent solution. And so that's my problem with the modern day psychiatric world, is that I believe that they push these drugs as the cure and as a solution, and that is just not true. And now I am not anti-drug. I do believe there are some times when taking drugs temporarily, like antidepressants, can be helpful to help you get through a difficult time until you're strong. But they should only, in my opinion, be considered a temporary solution or temporary treatment. And I think that it's very important for people to learn the processes and strategies for working on the problems that are causing you to be depressed in the first place. So what happens is, it's like putting a Band-Aid on an infected wound. It's not ever going to heal it. You might be able to slather some antibiotic ointment in there with painkillers in it and mask the pain, but it's never going to get healed from just putting a Band-Aid on it. It's just going to keep getting worse. And it's the same thing with your emotional, spiritual condition. If there is something in there causing all that pain and all that depression, you can't just mask it with drugs.